Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now. Today we're going to be going over a potential wildcard draft for Game Week 20. So if you're excited for the video, drop a like down below, leave a comment when are you thinking of playing your second wildcard, subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So, starting things off, let's take a look at the goalkeepers and the defenders. Of course, everybody does have a second wildcard now. As I just said, if you didn't play it before Game Week 19, then obviously you've lost it, but you get another one anyway, so it is what it is. But yeah, it's a great time because a lot of people's teams are all over the place, so being able to have an extra wildcard, always very beneficial. But this is the defenders and the goalkeepers that I have gone with. So I've gone with Alisson and Fabianski in goal. Fabianski is currently injured, but at the same time, you're still going to just be playing Alisson every single week anyway. And then when Fabianski is back from this injury, we don't know how long he's going to be out for. But if he is back from this injury, he's just going to slot into that number one spot again. So it's just like a player that's just going to be slowly getting better on your bench. But again, you're going to be playing Alisson every single week regardless. It just kind of saves you a transfer down the line if you wanted to bench boost or something. If you've already used your bench boost, there's probably not really much point of going for Fabianski. And you just go for like a 4 mil goalkeeper like a Ward or something like that just to save that 0.1. But if you haven't used your bench boost, I'd probably recommend going for Fabianski just to have him on your bench. When he gets better, you can bench boost, you know, all good. But Alisson is your main goalkeeper here. I just think the fixtures are pretty good for Liverpool. I still think Raya is a fantastic option, but from an Arsenal standpoint, even though the defense is so good, I just think that Liverpool's fixture run is just a little bit better. Obviously, United at home this week, Forest away, Brentford away, Ipswich at home, Bournemouth away. A little bit better than what Arsenal have to deal with. But as you can see, we do still have an Arsenal defender in Gabriel. I didn't want to just lose all Arsenal defenders in a wildcard draft because even though the fixtures aren't super ideal, even last night with that Brentford game, they kept them down to like a 0.2 XGC like all games. So it's still phenomenally great in terms of defending, but yeah, I just don't think a double up is really necessary at this point in time. But anyway, those are the goalkeepers, Alisson and Fabianski. As I say, at the back, we've gone Gabriel, we've gone Lewis Hall, Trent, Munoz, and Robinson. I think arguably these are the best defenders you can own at this point in time. They're all in ridiculous form. They're all getting a lot of attacking returns, barring like Gabriel as of late. But players like Robinson, you know, he's got the most assists out of all defenders this season, even, you know, going higher than Trent and stuff. I think Trent's on like 4, Robinson's on like 7. Munoz getting into ridiculous attacking positions. Very unlucky not to score in the last fixture. I think it was like cleared off the line or something like that. So as a 4.7 defender, if they're getting into those kind of positions with the fixture and that Palace have got coming up, I think he's definitely a staple in every single wildcard draft this week. Also gone Trent as well. Again, showing what he can do at the weekend. The goal was a deflection, so there was a slight bit of luck to it, but he's getting in those positions. It's a little bit unfortunate that he's not taking like all corners and all set pieces and stuff. It definitely hurts his value a tiny bit, but with how good Liverpool are and how good Trent is, I think he's still easily one of the better, easily one of the best players to own in FPL this season. So I really like the Trent pick. And I've also gone Lewis Hall as well. Again, Spurs away this week isn't ideal, but after that, the fixture run is so good for Newcastle. And again, Hall, originally at the start of the season, we just didn't know if he was going to be like keeping that place, but he's playing so well at the moment, getting assists every week. He's had a few double-digit hauls as well throughout this season. So, you know, after the Tottenham game, he's an absolute set and forget. You just be playing him every single week, really. And as I say, Gabriel, still got a bullet header in him. Still got that Arsenal defense in the team. Really like him as an option. So yeah, that's the defenders and the goalkeeper and the goalkeepers. As I say, I think arguably they are the best defenders you can own in FPL as of right now. There's not really any others that I'd really want to put in instead of them. All in really good form. All got really good fixtures coming up. Yeah, those are the defenders and the goalkeepers. In midfield, we have Rodgers, who of course is currently suspended, but I'd still have him in your team. He's only out for 1 game. Very unfortunate to miss that Leicester at home game, but he's back for Everton, Arsenal away. Not ideal fixtures, but then obviously after that, the fixtures are really nice. I really like him as an option just going forward. Again, you'd have to bench him this week, but I think that's absolutely fine. Also gone Saar as well. Unlucky not to score in that Palace game as well. Just as unlucky as Munoz, but going forward, probably the better Palace, I guess, midfielder to own. I know that Eze scored and stuff like that, but I still think that Saar is an absolutely solid pick. I think he's absolutely fine. And again, you'll see later on in the video, I've not gone for a Palace striker, but I've obviously gone for Saar instead. I just think it offers a little bit more value, and his minutes are just absolutely locked in as well. Palmer and Salah, you know, obviously they've got to be in the team. Don't really have to speak about them much. Their prices are still rising. There's still people without them in their team. If you don't have Salah and Palmer, you got to get them in your team. They're just so good. I mean, we can see what Salah's doing every single week. Just double-digit hauls are second nature to him this season. And then Palmer, again, did blank in the last fixture, but very unlucky. Hit the post. Should have got an assist, but obviously it was offside. On another day, that's a double-digit haul. So very unlucky there. But yeah, Palmer and Salah, and I've also gone Gordon as well. Again, just like I was speaking for Lewis Hall, Spurs away, not a super ideal fixture. But even though it's away, they still play so high. I think that, you know, counter-attacking football is going to be really good against Spurs, and I think Gordon is going to have an absolute... I think I'm going to get a double-digit haul against Spurs. I think the way that they defend just really plays into how he attacks. So yeah, I've gone Gordon as well. So the only bad thing is that there's not a ton of penalty takers in this midfield. Obviously, Rodgers, Sarr, and Gordon not penalty takers. You've only got Palmer and Salah. But at the end of the day, you know, that it's not a make or break really. You should still be fine. Should be getting loads and loads of points. But yeah, the midfield is a little bit all over the place. There's a few other options you could go, like Iwobi maybe instead of a Sarr or something like that. Obviously, Mbeumo's not in this squad. Mbeumo does have Southampton away, but then they've got some pretty tricky fixtures. Got City at home coming up, Arsenal at home. To be fair, City at home, I wouldn't be surprised if Brentford win that game. But yeah, with like Arsenal and stuff coming up, not Arsenal, should I say? It's like Liverpool or something. So tough fixtures coming up for Mbeumo, but yeah, if you did want to stick with him, then you know, still I think an okay option. But that's the midfield that I've gone with, and then up top again. There are a couple of options. I've gone João Pedro, Isak, and Wood. I think Isak is obviously a set and forget. You just bring him in and you just forget about him. He's in ridiculous form. He's scoring 1 or 2 goals every single week right now. The other two are very much up for debate because there are options as well, like Gabriel Jesus, Mateta, players like that. I think Jesus is a little bit of a rotation risk. I know that he's obviously playing really well at the moment, but Havertz being out definitely helps that. It's a little bit of a gamble in my opinion. Maybe he's going to play every single week. Who knows? If he does, he's a great option because he's cheap in getting into that Arsenal front line. But with the rotation risk, I'm not a massive fan of him. João Pedro, you know, he's on penalties. He's 5.7. The fixtures are really nice coming up for João Pedro. Obviously, Arsenal at home isn't ideal. But after that, they've got really nice fixtures coming up. I do like him as an option. He's been a little bit annoying recently. Obviously, before the 2 assists, it was a little bit annoying because he was just blanking every single week. But maybe when Welbeck's back, it will be better for Pedro because he won't have to play in that like number 9 role and he'll be able to like run in behind and stuff. But we'll have to wait and see. But I still think that Pedro is solid. Again, yeah, already gone over Isak. And then I've gone Chris Wood as well on penalties. Fixtures are relatively okay for Forest. Obviously, the Liverpool at home fixture isn't great. But it is at the City ground. You never know what's going to happen. We have beaten them at the City ground. It was like last season or the season before or something like that. Obviously, we're beating them this season as well. We are their bogey team, and you never know. Chris Wood could get a cheeky penalty, could get a tap in. We really don't know. But yeah, I just like Wood as an option. I think he's been solid all season, one of the highest goal scorers this season. I think we can all agree that he's having a very good season. So yeah, that's kind of the strikers. But again, Mateta's also an option. If you wanted to go for Mateta and then maybe get rid of Sarr, you could also get rid of Sarr and go for Mbeumo. You would have to, depending on how much money you have in the bank, you would also have to downgrade one of the defenders as well. And I don't think that's really something that I'd want to do. But the other options for goalkeepers as well, you could go for a Matt Sells, something like that. The fixture run for Forest is like, I mean, we all know how good they have been defensively. They're just keeping clean sheets like it's no one's business. But after Wolves, Liverpool and Southampton, they're all kind of tricky. They've got Bournemouth away, Brighton at home, Fulham away, Newcastle away, Arsenal and City at home. Even though we are so good defensively, I can easily see us conceding in like most of those fixtures, unfortunately. So I don't think it's a necessity to go for Matt Sells or have a Forest defender. I think from an attacking point of view, those fixtures are fine. But from a defensive standpoint, I don't think they're super ideal. So that's why I've not gone for a Sells or an Aina or a Milenkovic or something like that. But either way, this is the wildcard draft that I would probably go with if I was on a wildcard this week. Again, I'd probably save it for a little bit unless your team really needs it, because there's still a lot more weeks to play. And if you use your wildcard now, that's a lot. You've got like 18 odd weeks still to play. So either way, that is the wildcard. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like down below. Try and hit 100 likes. Leave a comment. Are you thinking of wildcard this week? When are you thinking of wildcard? There probably is a fixture turn at some point that a lot of people are going to wildcard in, but we'll obviously have to wait and see. Subscribe if you're brand new. Ring the notification bell. It's everything from me. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And until next time, peace.